Hey, g'day. Look, I love Pokemon. This franchise was my childhood. Bloody hell, I've made an entire Fakemon region. Of course, these games mean something to me. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before the comment section bends me over and butt me, because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is fucking disgraceful. It is some of the laziest shit I've seen in all of gaming. So, buckle up. You're in for one nasty plot. Hold up! Before we go anywhere, you're not subscribed. You know who you are. And even though 32% of you are subscribed, do notice that 68% of you are not. What's the big deal, guys? So, before you go anywhere, please do us a favor and subscribe. Appreciate it heaps. Cheers. I went into Pokemon Scarlet pretty much completely blind, and doing a Nuzlocke at that. If somehow you're in the Pokemon community and don't know what a Nuzlocke is, let me explain. The Nuzlocke challenge is a self-enforced set of rules that make the games a whole lot harder, and by proxy, actually kinda fun. Of course, these rules can have plenty of variation. I mean, they are self-enforced, but they essentially boil down to, if a Pokemon faints, it's dead. Put it in a box and never take it out. You can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on each route. If you kill that first encounter, no capturing anything. If all the Pokemon in your party die and you black out, game over. Restart. Also, you have to give each of your Pokemon a nickname so that you grow more attached. Now, normally, I would also change the game's battle style to set instead of switch, but guess what? They removed the feature to change it. What the fuck? Oh, and we still can't turn off the EXP share. With all that context out of the way, let's boot up the game. Oh my god! Character customization. Wow. Fucking took them long enough. Nah, but at least it's there. Good work. I made my trainer, Jungkook, from the K-pop boy band, BTS. So the game starts with this shitty cutscene, shamelessly plugging the school you will be attending. And then we watch as the box legendary flies around and crashes. Of course, we still don't have any voice acting. Just like every Pokemon game, we begin our journeys at home. Like usual, our dad went out for a pack of ciggies and never came back. So, we're stuck with our single damn! MILF, 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 MILF! Anyways, good to see that they put a lot of effort into animating this game. I mean, that's exactly how I wash the dishes. So, we just moved to Paldea, and today is gonna be our first day of school at Naranja Academy. Then the school's director, Clavel, just casually lets himself in. Okay, guy. He takes us outside and shows off the starters. Ew. Okay. Holy shit! He is so fucking dapper! I'm gonna name you Stud Muffin. You'd think that we would get to choose our starter right here and there, but no. He has to visit another house. The one down the road. So, you walk down the road to the other house. Well, that was fucking unnecessary. It is here that we meet our rival. She is very, very energetic, and apparently she's already become a champion. But she is way too nice. Bro, why can't we just have a rival that doesn't like us? Why couldn't Nimona have been some badass that's gonna step all over me and call me names? Well, whatever. We finally get to choose our starter. Quaxley. Hands down. Nimona also gets to choose a starter. Well, she's a champion, so obviously she's gonna choose the starter super effective against mine, right? No. Yet another region in which our rival chooses the weakest starter. Woo. We have a little battle Jungkook messes her shit up, and then we're on our way to school. We run into the Mother Dearest, and she gives us a sandwich. Fuck yeah! Nimona takes us up to Poco Path, so we can catch our first Pokemon. Brilliant animation once again. It's Lechonk! This encounter is scripted, but it is an encounter nonetheless. I named him Baconator. And it was at this moment that I realized a problem with doing a Nuzlocke in this game. There is no tall grass, therefore there are no random encounters. So I considered doing it based on the first Pokemon that I saw. But then I would always get stuck with the Pokemon super common on the route, which would suck. So I opted for doing it based simply on the first Pokemon I engaged in battle with. So technically, I could pick and choose, as long as I didn't accidentally run into something. Oh, and look! Finally! Somewhat decent and unique move animations. Moving on, we hear a strange roar and decide to go investigate, falling off a cliff in doing so. Ah! Fuck my ankles! That Rotom phone did not save me in time. We find the box legendary washed up along the shore, and he wants my sandwich. No! You can't have it. No. Fuck you, fine. He leads us into the inlet cave, where I caught myself a Diglett. I was gonna name him Chode, but that wasn't allowed. So I chucked on a Y and named him Chody instead. Sick. Invisible wall. We love to see it. We get ambushed by a bunch of Houndours, and then a Houndoom shows up. Wait, did I just lose my Nuzlocke? No. Sweet. And then the legendary grabs us and bounces out of the cave. But it looks like he's out of go-go juice. This whole time, we've actually just been trying to make it to this lighthouse. So after all that, we finally make it there. Here we meet Arvin. He's a fucking loser. He seems to know something about the legendary, who we discover is named Koraidon. Arvin doesn't think we're suitable enough to keep Koraidon, so he challenges us to a battle. A battle against his level 5 Squovet he literally just caught. Again. Fucking loser. Why would you challenge me to a battle that you knew you couldn't win? But then he gives us Koraidon's Pokeball. Yes, this legendary creature is kept within a regular Pokeball. He runs off, we go up to the lighthouse, promptly leave the lighthouse, and make it to the first open area, South 1. I decided to follow this river down to the beach, found a Wiglet. Poggers, I named her Stifler. In this area, you're pretty much left to your own devices until you make it to the school gate. Trust me though, you'll want to level up first. Also, trainers in Paldea are completely optional. If you don't want to fight them, you don't have to. So the only reason you would ever choose to do so would be to get a gauge on the levels in the area. In South 1, there's a little town called Los Platos, and it is as disappointing as you'd expect. We love to see it. None of the houses are accessible, and none of the NPCs are worth talking to. Fucking fantastic. Also, let's quickly talk about the Poke Centers / Pokemarts. They're the same in this game. Plus, they also come equipped with a TM crafting station. Look, no problems there. My problem is that they couldn't be fucking asked to properly animate Nurse Joy. You know, the one character model that has the one animation that is repeated every single time. You couldn't even fucking bother to animate that. Well, whatever. Nurse Joy will heal up your Pokemon, but you can also ask her for directions and register your birthday. This is what happens if it's your birthday, by the way. Wow. Once you're ready, you'll meet Nimona at this big door and battle. The battle is completely fucking bullshit because she whips out a terrestrialized Pawmi. That's not fair. Luckily though, I set up workups on the Fuecoco beforehand, and so I did one-shot it. Welcome to Mesa Goza, the largest city in all of Paldea, and home to Naranja Academy. Guess what? You can actually go inside the city houses. Like this one over here. Nope. That's a food store. Well, how about this? Nope. Food store. This one. Food store. Fun, I know. In all the towns, it's pretty much all food stores, a couple clothing stores, and sometimes a battle item shop. Essentially, Delibird Presents, the battle item shop, is the only store worth caring about. Making your way up the staircase to school, you run into some Team Star grunts who are trying to force this Penny chick into joining their cause. Penny is your typical nerdy shy girl, but she has a unique model, so we know she'll have some significance later on. And Team Star are pretty much just the school delinquents, though they aren't threatening at all. Well, we beat them up, easy peasy. But let me just take a moment to say that their track is banging. You know what? Honestly, pretty much all of the soundtrack slaps, so big ups to the audio team. Oh, and Nimona also gives us a Terra Orb, so we can terrestrialize as well now. So, school. Honestly, whoever thought of the bright idea of forcing you to attend school in a Pokemon game is a fucking dumb cunt. I'll talk more in depth about all this school crap later. Just know that it is awful. Oh dear God, look at the frames. Classes are an optional thing. Again, I'll talk about them later. And so, we meet up with our quote-unquote friends. We catch up with Arvin in the cafeteria. He aspires to create the bestest of all sandwiches. And to do that, he needs some magic plants or some shit. Problem is, they are guarded by Titan Pokemon, and he wants us to defeat them for him. Now, Titan Pokemon, awesome idea. Look at this drawing. They look fucking sick. In theory. Let's hope they executed them well. Spoilers, they didn't. Anyhow, afterwards we get a phone call from a mysterious person named Cassiopeia, who claims to have hacked into our phone. I wonder who Cassiopeia might be. It's Penny. I'm sorry for spoiling that for you, but it was so blatantly obvious that if you did not realize by the time Cassiopeia said she hacked into your phone, you're a fucktard. She invites you to join in on Operation Starfall, a plan to take down Team Star. Also, notice how the Rotom phones float in this game. I think they didn't want a repeat of getting called out for the shitty phone animations from Sword and Shield. That, or they were just too lazy to animate holding phones. Next up, you meet up with Nimona, who goes on this whole spiel about the gym challenges and crap and says you should do it as well. Which, obviously, we're gonna have to do. This is one of the good things about the game. Multiple quest lines is a good idea and means there's a lot more content to play through. After all that jazz, Director Clavel calls us into his office and we're put onto a Zoom call to Professor Saha. Damn! Fuck, she's bad. She pretty much just asks you to hold onto Koraidon for her. Like, we would ever give up a free legendary. Oh, and by the way, Sada is Arvin's mum, so she get that MILF status as well. You get taken to your dorm by Nimona, have a nap, and by the time you wake up, it is the day of the treasure hunt. The treasure hunt is pretty much an excuse for all the students to fuck off and do their Pokemon adventure crap. The actual gameplay. It only took us fucking 3 hours to get to this point. And then it dawned on me. The last 3 hours were just a giant, glorified fucking tutorial. And we are thrown into this open world environment with basically no direction. I'm pretty sure GameFreak figured that all they needed to make a good game was a padded out runtime and a big map. So they had a really long tutorial to trick the audience into thinking this game had an actual proper story, and then thrust us into the open world and said, fuck off, do whatever you want, we don't care. It is lazy, and the best part about it is that you have barely any clue on what order to tackle things, let alone what level you should be for each place. This makes doing a blind Nuzlocke way harder, because you could have level 15 Pokemon and stumble into a level 30 zone. Look, I like me an open world game, if it's done right. This is just downright lazy. Well, whatever. Let's take a break and talk about some of the new Pokemon designs. I'm gonna spread these segments throughout the video. Sprigatito. It's a fucking green cat. That's it. If you chose Sprigatito as your starter, what's wrong with you? Floragato. The cat stood up and got bigger. Wow, impressive. Meowscarada. Are you shitting me? They gave it a mask. That's it. The line is shit. I hate them all. Fuecoco. He's cute. I like him. He's got the derp factor, and he's just like a cute little chilly crocodile thing. Not bad, GameFreak. Not bad. Crocodile. Ah! Go back! Go back! What have they done to you? This thing is fugly as fuck. I hate it. Skeledirge. I don't like it. Looks like a clown, and I get the inspiration with the bird thingo, but it just looks like crap. Quaxley. Easily the best of the starters. He is so fucking dapper. Damn, he's sexy. Quaxwell. Welp, they ruined Quaxley. Quaxwell looks ducking stupid, and his pants are full of shit. Quackquavel. They really had to butcher my boy like this. Why do they keep trying to make the Pokemon look so humanoid? This cunt looks like Jimmy McElroy from Blades of Glory. If you couldn't tell, I don't like it. I don't like any of the starters, to be honest. Well, back to the actual game. If you hover over each of the enemy markers, they give you a little bit of a description. So, technically, you do have some direction, but it's not clear enough to get a proper order for everything. The first place I headed was Cortondo in South 2 to take on Katie the Sugar Bug, the bug-type gym leader. Before that though, I caught myself a Maschiff who I named Updog. Also, Studmuffin evolved into Quaxwell. Please go back. This is her description. This bug-type user is a recommended first stop for anyone considering taking on the Pokemon League. Though sweet as a treat, this baker of bug-themed pastries shows a bold streak in battle. Okay, so at least we know where a good first stop is. Before you take on the gym, you gotta do a challenge first. For the bug type, you gotta roll this big olive into a goal. It's not really a challenge at all. It's really fucking easy. So, whatever. I go to the gym and defeated Katie without any issues. I talked to Nurse Joy and asked where I should head next, assuming that it would point me towards the next location based on my current level or game progression. This location was the weakest of the Team Star leaders, the Dark-type trainer Iyakumo. So I popped on over to West 1 to get there, but alas, it seems that you gotta defeat the Open Sky Titan first. But I didn't know that at the time, because I figured Nurse Joy would have told me to fight the Titan if that was the case. And most of the wild Pokemon around that area were a higher level than mine. Despite that though, I managed to catch a Capsakid, who I fittingly named Hooch. Unfortunately, we had our first casualty trying to catch him. Baconator was no longer with us. Rest in peace, you sweet soul. So, I wanted to avoid the Titan because I figured I wasn't ready. So I cheesed the map and jumped a lake that I don't think you were supposed to do. In any case, I went to fight this terrestrialized Torkoal for some easy EXP. Keep in mind, all the Pokemon around here in West 1 were around level 16, so I figured Studmuffin could take it. The Torkoal was fucking level 28, more than 10 levels higher than any of my Pokemon. So, I had to swap in and sacrifice Chody so that I could get a clean switch to Updog and use his runaway ability. Brilliant! And it turns out that from where I was, I couldn't even make it to Iyakumo. In hindsight, that was probably for the best because his Pokemon are like level 20. Nurse Joy, you are a fucking sadistic bitch. Okay, well, I gave up on that endeavor and quick traveled back to Mesa Goza. And this time, I went out the East Gate to South 3. My encounter on this route was a Clorf named Pediculosis, short for Pediculosis pebis, or more commonly known as Crab's disease. I also saw the Stony Cliff Titan as I was making my way through the area. Now, I mentioned earlier that by hovering over these areas in the map, they give you a little bit of a description. Thing is, with all the Titan Pokemon, they give you no useful information, and even when you fight the damned things, they don't tell you the level. Witnesses claim they've seen a giant stone moving on its own in Area 3 of the South Province, and the stone has big, swiveling eye stalks. Perhaps it's a Titan, camouflaging itself to catch prey. How is any of this information helpful? So, you have to guess and see if you're ready to take it on. I wasn't about to take that chance in my Nuzlocke, so I let it be. Instead, I headed over to Artisan to challenge Brassius, the Grass-type gym leader. His description reads, "This Grass-type user and artist is a first stop for many fledgling trainers. His sculptures of Grass-type Pokemon are as famous as the way he chooses to appear before challenges to his gym." Okay, at least we know he's early on. The challenge in this place is a game of hide and seek, in which you have to find 10 Sunflora hidden around the town. This challenge is a whole lot better than the fucking olive rolling. In theory. In execution, it fucking sucks. The Sunflora are not properly hidden. There is no time limit, and they even just put 3 of them, quite literally, right in front of you. So it's more like, jump on Koraidon and run around the town until you come across 7 more Sunflora. And then I didn't have any problems defeating the gym. After getting your badge, you're met by Hassel, one of the Elite Four, and an art teacher at your school. But he doesn't say anything meaningful. Something like this happens after pretty much every gym. Some cunt rocks up and says some bullshit that means nothing, and then they leave. I'm not bothered to go over them every time it happens, so just know that it does happen. I headed back to face against the Stony Cliff Titan. I'm gonna go on a little rant now. Like I said before, the conceptual idea of Titan Pokemon is sick, and when they are introduced, they have an air of mystery around them. The book that Arvin shows you has no clear pictures of them, so I figured that they would have really cool, unique models. No, they don't. The Stony Cliff Titan is no more than a big fucking Clorf. And once again, no clue what level it is. Turns out I was overleveled and one-shot it. In the first encounter, you don't fully defeat it. It scurries off and starts munching on some Herba Mystica, the magic plant Arvin wants for his sandwiches. And in the second encounter, it's supposed to be a whole lot stronger. But I wouldn't know, because I two-shot it. Afterwards, we're greeted with the cutscene in which Arvin collects the Herba Mystica and makes a sandwich. Then this Koraidon prick comes out and wants my sandwich. Again! No! Fuck off! No. They don't give you a choice. I give him my sandwich, and he gets a power boost. After you leave, the scene lingers on Arvin, who intends to give his sandwich to a Pokemon that he's been hiding from you. We don't know what it is at the moment, but I like the mystery element. So, that power boost Koraidon got allows him to dash, which is great. Makes traversing this shitty environment a whole lot faster. Speaking of which, let me explain. The overworld in this game is a step up from Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus. Aesthetically, that is. It's less ugly. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this game looks nice. Honestly, it's still pretty fucking bad, but it is technically an improvement. The problem that they didn't fix, however, is that all the areas are so fucking empty. Well, let's take a break from the gameplay and go over a couple new Pokemon. Lechonk. Fucking fantastic. I love this guy, I really do. He has a solid first stage. He's cute as fuck. And his name is fucking Lechonk. Oinkaloni. And they did it again. They butchered another line. It's just a bigger pig. Look at the potential it had. These are some fan evolutions from before the games were released. Why couldn't we have gotten something like these? Tarantula. Yeah, it's alright. Nothing special, but it ain't bad. Spidops. I mean, I guess it's not the worst. Just feels wrong. I'm not the biggest fan, but I can't say that I hate it. It's Nimble. Also just alright. Again, nothing special, but it serves its purpose as a first stage. Lockix. I don't mind this design. It ain't bad. I wouldn't say that I particularly like it, but there is nothing wrong with it. Pawmi. It's a Pikachu clone, but you know what? It's one of the better Pikachu clones. Pawmo. It's a Pawmi, but now it stands on two legs. The first time I saw it in the wild, I had to do a double take because you can barely tell the difference between the two. Pawmot. It's Pawmo, but bigger, and it got a haircut. Tandemouse. These things are an abomination. You can't tell from this angle, but you'll see later on. At the end of the day, it's just two mice. Mousehold. Get this. What if, instead of having two little mice, we made it three, or better yet, four. Genius design. How very innovative. Fido. Look, I like dogs. It's cute, and it's got some fat buns. Dash Bun. I know what I just said, but this one just looks wrong. I don't know if it's the colors or what, but this guy just rubs me the wrong way. I talked to Nurse Joy again to see where I should go, still oblivious to the fact that she has no clue what she's on about. She tells me to challenge the fire type Team Star boss, Mela, and so off I go. Her description reads, Mela believes in solving every problem with force, and she is scarier to face than her Pokemon. But she has charisma, and always keeps her word, which has earned her the trust of her allies. Thanks for that. Not very helpful. Once you get close to the base, a little cutscene initiates. Cassiopeia calls you up and runs you through the plan. It's pretty straightforward. She wants you to raid all the bases and beat the shit out of all the squad leaders. It is during this first cutscene, however, that we are introduced to one of the best characters in this entire game. Clive. Look at this sexy man. Cassiopeia says that she has some history with Team Star, which is why she wants to take him down. And Clive seems to also have some connection to the team, though he doesn't do any more than act as your support. So I go ahead and fight the grunt at the front of their base. This grunt had a level 25. I was underleveled. Nurse Joy, you bitch! I managed to take out the level 25 Houndour without any casualties and dipped. I'm down in East 1 now and a Cyclizar charges into me. Welp, I guess this is my encounter for the route. This guy was a tanky motherfucker and he landed a critical hit on Stud Muffin, killing him. Fuck! But then I did manage to catch him. In honor of my fallen comrade, I named him Dud Muffin. I took a little detour for a while to level up my Pokemon and get them some better moves, preparing them to be able to take on Mela. During this time, I found a Dragon Dance TM. Sweet, Cyclizar couldn't learn it. None of my Pokemon could learn it. I was very upset. I felt like catching another Pokemon to add to the squad, so I hopped on over to South 4. I found a Dunsparce, and having heard rumors about a Dunsparce evolution, I excitedly caught it, looking forward to seeing what it evolves into. I named him Colsparce, my Agnos region's Dunsparce evolution, hoping that it would wind up something along those lines. While I was training, however, we had yet another casualty. A wild Fletchinder used acrobatics and killed Updog. Feels fucking bad, man. Hey, what's up, dog? Nothing much. How about you? Boy. I went back to West 1 to fight the Open Sky Titan finally, which was just a big Bomberna. Once again, I was overleveled, assuming the Titan would be a lot stronger than it was. Dud Muffin two-shot it on both encounters. But how was I supposed to know? This is its description. Boulders tumbling down from a mountain in the West Province's Area 1. Perhaps a Titan wanting to keep the sky all to itself? The climb may be more challenging than the battle. How does that give me any indication on what level I should be? We get to see more of Arven's character development. For the most part, the cutscene plays out the exact same as the first. But when that greedy cunt Koraidon goes for Arven's sandwich after he'd already forced me to give him mine, Arven flips the fuck out. Feeling remorseful about keeping you in the dark about his true intentions, he reveals the mysterious Pokemon he had been hiding in the cutscene. It turns out that he wanted the Herba Mystica to heal his Mabostiff, who had been gravely wounded. It's a very simple story, but I like this idea for a Pokemon plotline. A story about a boy and his dog. You can't go wrong. Now, I do wish that they gave Arven's sick Mabostiff a unique model to show that it's actually sick, because it looks fine. Just a regular Mabostiff lying down. But whatever. I never expected GameFreak to put that much love and care into their game. Also, voice acting in parts like this would have been really nice. Actually, make the audience feel something. But no, seriously, why the fuck do we still not have any voice acting? GameFreak, adding voice acting to these games in this day and age is the bare fucking minimum. You cunts are so fucking lazy. In any case, because of the magic sandwich, Koraidon has learned how to swim. Now that the Open Sky Titan had been defeated, I finally went to face off against Iyakumo. His description reads, since he only recently began training Dark-type Pokemon, he's not too much challenge in battle. He used to be a straight-laced star student, but certain events sent him on a very different path. Battles against Team Star work a bit different to gyms and even Titans. It makes use of the new auto battle system. GameFreak realized how painful it is to grind levels, so to fix this, they just got rid of having to play the game. You can send the first Pokemon in your party out into the overworld and let them just go around killing things. Pretty much, your Pokemon will either instantly kill the wild Pokemon or lose around half of their health if they aren't strong enough. To be fair, to balance this, you get a lot less XP than if you were to engage in a traditional battle. But with the time it saves, it is pretty much never worth engaging in a traditional battle unless you have to. When facing off against Team Star, you undergo what is called a Star Barrage, in which you let out the first 3 Pokemon in your party. You have your Pokemon auto battle until you've defeated 30 Pokemon within the time limit of 10 minutes. The time restraint isn't something to worry about, however, as these segments take no more than 5. After casually meandering your way through the Star Barrage, you fight the squad leader in a traditional battle. The last Pokemon Iyakumo and all the other squad leaders bring out is their modified Revavroom that they ride on. They got some sick wheels. I want one. For your information, you can't get them. They're exclusive to the Team Star bosses, which I actually don't really mind. I am always in support of unique models. After defeating Iyakumo, you go through a flashback cutscene. You learn that it was Iyakumo that wrote the code that Team Star has to abide by, and that he was the former student council president at Naranja Academy, bullied out of there because he was an uptight little prick. Still, I wish there was voice acting in the cutscene. As the code states, if they lose a battle, they have to surrender their position as a member of Team Star. Then Clive shows up and requests that he comes back to Naranja Academy because all of Team Star is headed towards expulsion. Once all is said and done, Penny shows up, who apparently works for Cassiopeia. Haha, I'm not buying it. She gives you a bunch of LP, a currency which is pretty much the same as Pokédollars, as reward for defeating the squad leader. I headed to the Asado Desert to catch a new member of the team and came across a Relor. I wanted the butt bug, but alas, I accidentally killed it, so no encounter. On my way back to fight Mela at East 1, Stifler evolved into Wugtrio. Sick as. The fight against Mela's Team Star base works the same way, and I took her out without any issues. In this flashback, we learn a bit about the history of Team Star. It seems that they formed the team because they were being relentlessly bullied at Naranja Academy. Mela specifically being bullied because she was just so cute. Okay. Also, just look at the way this fucker walks. And then the rest plays out as it did before. Going through East 2, making my way to Levincia to take on the electric-type gym leader Iono, I found a Firestone, which I used to evolve Hooch into a Scovillian. And I ran into a Magnemite and accidentally killed it. So, no encounter. This electric-type trainer and hit streamer is adored by the young. Her viewers' reactions are more important to her than a victory in battle. And her gym test is one of a kind. Be ready for anything. Before you can take on the gym challenge, Nimona forces you into a battle, which I won without any casualties. Iono is a massive streamer in the Pokemon universe, and I feel like she takes some design inspirations from Gorgura, the most successful of Hololive's English branch. I say this because of the small stature, oversized sleeves, and sharp teeth. For the challenge before the battle, you have to take part in her stream, so she can milk you for some sweet subbies. Speaking of which, please subscribe, it means a whole lot and really helps me out. Gonna be honest, her stream fucking blows. She gets Director Clavel to hide in parts of Levincia, while you have to point him out on a still frame. It's like Where's Wally, but really shitty, because it's super easy. And then you have to battle her crazy stands in between the Where's Wally segments. For her battle, I was putting all my money on Colspass, who had Drill Run, to take on her Pokemon. The thing was, he kept getting paralyzed, so I ended up switching to Dudmuffin to take her Luxio and then her terrestrialized Miss Magius out. This Miss Magius is the bane of my existence. The first thing it did was confuse Dudmuffin, and then proceeded to attack with Charge Beam and Charge Beam only. Now, Charge Beam ups your special attack every time it's used, and Dudmuffin kept punching himself in the face because of his confusion, which resulted in his death. I sent out Colspass again, hoping that I could defeat her with Drill Run, but he was paralyzed, and then she confused him. Of course, he hit himself in his confusion. I switched in Hooch, who actually got her low with a flamethrower, but her special attack was really high at this point, so she killed him as well. Next, I sent out Pediculosis, who was already low and paralyzed. Dead. Then it was Stifler's turn. I knew he wouldn't survive long, but he had Mud Slap, and the Miss Magius was low, so I took my shot. She has fucking Levitate! Fuck! Stifler. Dead. My last hope was Colspass. I tried to heal him up, but it was too late. The Miss Magius was too strong, and I was defeated. Thus, ending my first run. God damn it. Before we get into run 2, let's check out some more of the new designs. Smoliv. I like him, he's just a small little olive boy. Doliv. Gross. Who thought this was a good idea? No, thank you. Believer. This guy's mid. Don't hate him, but not too fond of him. Actually, I guess he's kinda cool. Squawkabilly. This guy comes in 4 different colors, and they have different abilities, but at the end of the day, it's just a dumb bird. If we were gonna have a parrot, I would have much rather have gotten a Chatot evolution. Knackly. Macraft. Knuckle Stack. Wow, Macraft. Garganackle. Oh my god, even more Macraft. Look, all these guys look really goofy and out of place. Sorry, sir, I think you got the wrong game. But I actually really like Garganackle because house. Charcadet. I like this design. He's just a funny little fella. He's pretty neat. Armarouge. This guy looks fucking awesome. He's like Mega Man. When they showcased this guy in the promo shit before the release, I genuinely thought he was a legendary. Ceruledge. This guy is also fucking sick. Just like his counterpart. I assumed he was a legendary. We love the sword hands. Tadbulb. It's just a light bulb, mate. I don't know what to tell ya. Belly Bolt. This guy looks stupid as fuck. But I like that. He's funny looking. Initially, didn't like him too much. The thing that made me actually like it is that Iono had one. I think it's just perfect that the streamer has a green frog. It's just Pokemon's Pepe. I should mention that on this second run, I made it a policy that I would not reuse any Pokemon. So my team by the time I made it back to Levincia consisted of Stig the Crocodile, Whoopsock the Clodsire, Sexdol the Tinkertuff, House the Knucklestack, Black Betty the Paldean Tauros, and Booty Bap Boop the Dolive. I was not taking any chances on this battle, so I was pretty high level. Clodsire destroyed all of her Pokemon until she sent out her Miss Magius. I then switched out Stig, who used Yawn to send her to sleep, and proceeded to beat the crap out of it while it caught some Z's. Now that I actually beat the damn thing, let me just say, this gym fight was actually pretty good. Overlooking the shitty stream from beforehand, Iona's Miss Magius is exactly how terrestrialized Pokemon should be utilized, matching types with abilities. It's a run ender, and I respect it. Also, I just like Iono's design. Unfortunately, this ability type pairing would never be used again. Next up, I went to the Asado Desert. While I was there, I found an Espathra. Inspecting it, I discovered that it was like 7 levels higher than anyone else on my team. No thank you, do not want to try my luck with that. And then, out of nowhere, it pounces me. Okay, I guess I'm trying it. I chuck it to sleep and whittle down its HP. Luckily, it was nighttime, so I threw a dusk ball. Yes, let's go! I named her Nefertiti, and she sat in my box. I'm doing the Cascarafa gym now to take down the water-type gym leader, Kofu. Hey, where exactly are his eyebrows? This is his description. This water-type user is a good fit for those with battle experience. He is the chef and owner of the Kofu Lounge, and his zeal for helping trainers grow has led him to craft a taxing gym test. For those with battle experience? Got it. Okay. So what level was that exactly? Yeah. Okay. Once you get to the gym, Kofu fucking turns on the jets and books it to go shopping, forgetting his wallet. So the person working at the gym asks you to bring it back to him for the gym challenge. So hop on down to Porto Marinata. You try to talk to him, but his little boy toy says I have to beat him in a battle before I can. So I beat the shit out of him. Returning Kofu's wallet, he gives me 50 grand so that I can enter an auction for him. He wants this fancy seaweed or something. I bought it for 35 grand and he let me keep the rest. Traveling back to Cascarafa, I finally get to battle the dude. Birdie bap boop! Pretty much single-handedly took on the gym, but when he whipped out his terrestrialized Crabominable, she was hit with a rock smash and died. So I subbed Black Betty in and finished off the fight. Replacing Booty Bap Boop, Nefertiti joined the party. I went to Medali next, taking on Larry, the normal type gym leader. First though, you have to order the secret menu item at Treasure Eatery. To find out what the recipe is, you gotta go around Medali and beat up some trainers. So I went and did that. The secret menu item was a medium serving of grilled rice balls, extra crispy with a touch of lemon. Then suddenly, the whole restaurant is flipped and turned into a battle court. What happened to all the people eating? Do they just have to fuck off every time a trainer figures out the recipe? Whatever, it turns out that Larry was just one of the guys eating in the restaurant. I really like this guy. He is an absolute mood. Larry is just so out of shits to give. And honestly, at this point, so am I. Also, he has an actual useful description. This normal type user is in the middle of the pack when it comes to gym leaders. He has a day job helping run the Pokemon League, where he is not the best rated worker. He loves to eat. So from this, we can infer that he should be taken on 4th or 5th. He wasn't much of a challenge to fight though. I worked up Black Betty and terrestrialized, destroying him with double kicks. It was my first introduction to Dun Dunsparce, however. Yet, puh! Disgusting. After you finish the battle, Larry goes back to work. Is working for the Pokemon League really that miserable? Then Nimona challenges you to another battle that the champion La Primera watches. I set up with work up against a Lycanroc, then demolished her team. I trained up all my Pokemon to level 40 and took on Great Tusk, the Quaking Earth Titan in the Asado Desert. This is the only Titan that I actually like, because at least the Donphan looks different, not just a big Donphan. Though I wish it was cooler. From the illustrations from Arvin's book, I was just expecting more. Its description reads, mysterious shakes keep shaking the Asado Desert. Porto Marinada locals claim they've caught glimpses of an unknown creature raging about through the obscuring clouds of sand and dust. Once again, no helpful information there. Also, what do you mean, caught glimpses? It's a giant fucking elephant. The first encounter went fine, easy peasy. But on the second encounter, I fucked up. I terrestrialized Whoopsock, who turned poison, forgetting that ground was super effective. Whoopsock! No! I switched in Nefertiti, who was super effective and defeated it. The cutscenes with Arvin pretty much follow the same formula from now on. He makes a sandwich, Koraidon takes it, and he feeds his to Bostiff, who gets slightly less sick each time. The booster this sandwich gave me was the ability to glide, which was very helpful. Hello friend, what are you doing here? In East 3, I fought a terrestrialized Pyroar, which was also my first encounter, and caught him. I named him Pyrfinzagen. Catching him also gave him enough XP to evolve Sexdoll into a Tinkaton. I challenged the Lurking Steel Titan, a big fucking Orthworm, and one-shot it on both encounters. Miners in Area 3 of the East Province say something huge burrowing under the ground is the cause of frequent landslides. Whispers abound, whether it could be a Titan. Thanks for that. The Arvin cutscene follows that same formula, but he also tells me that my Koraidon is stupid in the brain, which is why he can't battle. But at least he can jump really high now. Welp, whatever. At the entrance to Tag Tree Thicket, I found a Varoom, though it was still in East 3. It looked like a vacuum cleaner, so I wanted to name it Nunu. I tried luring it into the thicket, but as soon as I walked a bee's dick into it, I'm forced into a cutscene with Clive. Damn, I can't even be mad. He is so cool. But by the time the cutscene was over, the vacuum cleaner was nowhere to be found. I settled on catching a Grafaiai, who I named Nunu in its honor. Oh, and house evolved into Garganackle not long after that. The description of the Team Star squad leader reads as follows. Atticus is of middling strength among the Team Star bosses, a descendant of ninjas, or so he believes. He likes to dress the part and use fancy speech and poison skills to toy with foes. Woo! Helpful description. We know he should be the third Team Star boss you fight. Actually, all the Team Star descriptions are helpful-ish. You know exactly what order to tackle them, just not the order in the grand scheme of things. Or what level. Yeah, so, Atticus. He talks in old Shakespearean language. I see why he was bullied. Honestly, don't blame him. And the cutscene just reveals that he made all their tacky costumes. Let's take a break and go through some more pokes. Wattrel. It's just a cute little bird. I don't really think there's much more that I can say. Bird. Killer Wattrel. It's a bigger bird. That's it really. Big bird. Mastiff. I like Mastiff. I like dogs. His face is kind of fugly, but in a kind of cute, endearing way. Mabostiff? It's alright. I just don't really like the color palette. I figure that they needed the colors to pass as sickly for the Arven storyline, but it would have been so much better if they gave Mabostiff better colors and gave a new model to Arven's sick one. But no. Shroodle. I don't know what this thing is, but it is a thing. I don't know how to feel about it. Grafii. Grafii is awesome. Just a really overall solid design. Bramblin. It's a tumbleweed with weird eye things. It's alright. Bramblegast. It got thornier, and its weird eye things became an even weirder and uglier face looking thing. I do not like. Toad's cool. This guy, he's pretty cool. I really like the idea of convergent evolution. He looks pretty funny, and I fucking love how he runs. Toadscrawl. Not the worst, but I'm not the biggest fan. It's just the shape. It feels wrong, and I don't like its mouth. If I compare it to Tentacruel, its quality just doesn't match up. Clorf. He's another one of those Pokemon that looks real fucking stupid, but in a charming and endearing kind of way. I like him. He's funny. Capsakid. Solid. I really like this design as a first stage evolution. Great name. All around, good design. Scovillian. This Pokemon is fucking awesome. I love everything about it. Well, not everything. Scovillian is the epitome of a perfect middle stage evolution. But alas, he is the final evolution, and that's disappointing. But by himself, he is still really bloody cool. I headed up Glacido Mountain and accidentally found myself in a battle with a Greavard. I caught the little guy and named him Nugget. In Glacido Mountain, there are two gyms. The Ghost type reads, this Ghost type user is among the very greatest. She is a legendary rapper who has performed around the world, and her thrilling live shows rattle the bones with devilish beats and double battles. The Ice type reads, this Ice type user, once a renowned snowboarder, was forced to retire from the sport due to grievous injury. His formerly fiery passion now remains locked away beneath a thick, icy shell. One says that they're pretty strong. The other gives us no information. But when we have 3 gym leaders left, being among the very greatest really doesn't help too much. The one I took on first was the Ghost type gym leader in Montenevera, Rhyme. Before I get to meet her though, we go through our challenge, which is just a series of 3 double battles. These battles are conducted by MC Sledge. GameFreak stole my fucking idea! They turned Moist Critical into a Ghost type trainer. Well, the challenge was easy enough. No losses. Moist Critical Sledge! What happened to your face? And then we meet Rhyme. Now Rhyme is a famous rapper in the Paldea region. So, tell me, why the fuck does GameFreak keep making singer / performance-based trainers if they aren't fucking asked to add voice acting? This game literally feels like it was made to be voice acted, but then they just got too lazy to actually add any of it in. It just looks really goofy. Welp, I defeated the MC of RIP, and the battle gave enough XP for Nugget to evolve into Houndstone. The other gym leader on Glacido Mountain is Grusha, the Ice-type trainer. You have to go like 20 meters down an ice slide for the challenge. Again, like all the other challenges. They aren't hard and add no value to the game other than padding out runtime. I like her design. She's pretty cute. Wait, what do you mean that's a guy? Boys, abort the mission! It's a trap! Okay, I beat him. Let's get the fuck out of here. I had one more gym to take on. The Psychic-type trainer Tulip at Alphanada. On my way there while I was in South 4, an Arcanine spawned right in front of me because the pop-in distance on this game is dog shit. Whatever, I caught him and named him Dog. This Psychic-type user is a real force, even among gym leaders. She runs a cosmetics brand, which she also models for, and aims to be the very best in everything she does, including battle. I took this at face value, and assumed she was the very best, which is why I faced her last. You meet up with your battle studies teacher, Dendra, from the school for the challenge. She's in some weird dominatrix shit with Tulip, or some shit like that. The challenge is called Emotional Spectrum Practice. What the fuck is this? You have to press the corresponding button with the emotion that she says. But okay. I think they were going for something along the lines of a rhythm game, but they gave you so much time that if you failed to do this, you have to be as mentally incapable as my Koraidon. I'm so done with this game. I meet up with the gym leader. Mummy? Yo, she's fit as. But her moves are weak! And now I have all 8 gym badges. The fairy type Team Star Squad boss Ortega was next. Again, it's just the same shit really. I had no troubles taking him out. Said to be the strongest of the Team Star bosses, his family owns an apparel brand famed even in Paldea. He constantly looks down on others, perhaps due to his cushy upbringing. From the flashback, we discover Ortega was the one who made the Starmobiles, and he was bullied for being a spoiled rich brat. According to his description, it was probably really justified. And in the Clive cutscene afterwards, we discover that Team Star had actually confronted their bullies. All the bullies ended up dropping out, and the former school vice deputy, or some shit, erased all evidence of that ever being the case to stop any blame from falling upon him. So it made it seem like Team Star were just a bunch of ruthless dickheads. I had one Titan to take on, the False Dragon Titan over at Casseroyal Lake. A highly dangerous Pokemon said to lurk in Casseroyal Lake, luring other creatures close and then feeding on them. Appearance unknown, but likely large, use extreme caution. The waypoint marker was on this little island covered in these little sushi boys, who you have to hit A to battle. I did so, which was my first encounter, and named him. Wow. The way this Titan works is you have to initiate a battle with this Tatsuguri over here, and you can tell it's this one because it's bigger than all the others and it's Screaming Titan. It was actually the first one I came across when I got to the island. At the time, I didn't know that was how this worked, and so I figured I had to kill all the sushi boys before it spawned. I started on the opposite side of the island, so that Tatsuguri was actually like the last one I tried to battle. God damn it. I hit A on the Tatsuguri, and then the False Dragon, a big fucking Dondozo, comes up and eats it. This is the first encounter with it. Easy peasy. Now that I know about the whole Sushi Boy system and how it works, I went to the next waypoint, and the same thing happened with this Sushi Boy. Once you defeat the Dondozo, you also have to fight the roided up Tatsuguri that it ate. I actually liked the different idea for this Titan. Too bad it's just a bigger model of the same Pokemon you can find commonly in this area. This Arvin cutscene, when Bostiff gets fully healed. It's cute, or it would have been if the game had fucking voice acting. And then Sada calls up and says for you two to head to the lab at the lighthouse. This is the final Koraidon boost, and it's great. The ability to climb up any surface. This, mixed with the gliding ability, is very neat. All gyms down, all Titans down. One Team Star squad boss to go. This was over at North 2, the fighting type trainer Eri. An extremely dangerous opponent, even among the Team Star bosses. She entered the academy on a sports scholarship. Her towering height helped her unleash powerful wrestling moves. This fight was actually kinda difficult. I one-shot a Toxicroak with Nefertiti and switched into Stig against her Lucario. Her Lucario knew Dark Pulse, which gave me a heart attack because it almost one-shot Stig. So I switched into Sexdoll. Sexdoll was able to tank a bunch of hits, so I used the opportunity to heal Stig back up. But then I misjudged how much she could handle, and she died. I switched Nefertiti back in, and then she fucked up the rest of the team. In hindsight, I probably should have never switched her out in the first place. You don't really learn anything meaningful from a cutscene, just that she was really strong, and she trained all the other members. Cassiopeia calls you up, and Clive's there as well. Huh? Plot twist! Cassiopeia secretly was the mastermind behind Team Star, and for some reason, wanted to disband the team. She says she'll be waiting for you at Naranja Academy for a final battle. I subbed Wah into the team to replace Sexdoll, trained him up a bit, and then just explored the map a little, now that I could climb. I climbed the mountains surrounding the great crater of Paldea. What the fuck? Flying Garchomp? Isn't he supposed to be a land shark? Well, I dove right on into the crater, but then it kicked me out. Also, over here in North 2, I found an awesome grinding spot. Up on this mountain, there's this little pond where only Golduck, Dratini, and Vaporeon spawn. They're all around level 50, and the area's pretty small, so you can just auto-battle and profit. So, I have 3 options now. I could take on the Elite Four and Champion, I could go see what's up with Arvin and Professor Sada, or I could go battle Cassiopeia. I decided on the latter. Once I got to Naranja Academy, Clive was waiting for me. And then, the biggest shock in this entire game was revealed. What? Clive was secretly Director Clavel? And then he claims to be Cassiopeia, using pre-recorded messages to deceive us? Sure, it's definitely you and not Penny. So I battle him. Turns out I was a little underleveled. First up, I had Nefertiti against his Oranguru, who sent me to sleep with Yawn. So I switched into Black Betty. Black Betty got him. Sweet. Next, Clive sent out a Bomber Snow, so I sent out Stig to counter. Stig destroyed him. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I had Nugget against this Poltegeist. It was faster than Nugget and one-shot him with a Shadow Ball. Fuck! I sent out Stig and used Crunch. Stig was faster and dealt about half of its HP, but it used Shell Smash. It outsped me on the next turn and one-shot Stig with a Shadow Ball. Stig! No! I sent out House. No! House has sturdy! Woo! Let's go! House coming in clutch! It was Black Betty against Amoonguss next. I used my first turn to full restore Nefertiti, but the Amoonguss hit a crit and Black Betty just barely survived. I tagged in Nefertiti. With Drill Peck, she was doing decent damage, but then the Amoonguss used Spore, and then she was sent back to sleep. I full revived her again, but as it turns out, it had... Wait, what the fuck? It had Hex, which is super effective. She tanked it pretty easily though, so I kept on drill pecking and then it used Toxic. Judging from the previous damage of the Hex from before, it looked like I could tank another hit. Little did I know that Hex does massive damage if its target is inflicted with a status effect. Ahaha! Nefertiti! Fuck me! I was left with a full health Wah. But being a little sushi boy, his stats were pretty arse, as well as Black Betty and House, who were both on a sliver of health. My only real option was Wah. Nefertiti got a Moongus real low, so it was a matter of who was faster. Whoever went first would likely kill the other. Wah pulls out on top. Wah, the absolute GOAT! Clive sent out Houndoom next. Sweet, I'm super effective. I go to hit it with a Muddy Water, but the Houndoom was faster and attacked with Dark Pulse. Wah flinched, and it dealt more than half my HP. No matter how many times I healed Wah, it wasn't winning against the Houndoom. So I sacrificed Wah so that I could heal up Black Betty, who I switched into. I tried to set up with Work Up, but the Houndoom's Fire Blast almost one-shot. I healed back up, and then it used Sludge Bomb, which did less than half. I had to take my shot, praying that he used Sludge Bomb or missed the Fire Blast. He used Fire Blast, and Black Betty was no more. I was down to my last Pokemon, House, who had 1 HP. But if I've learned one thing from gambling, it's that the House always wins. I heal House back to full. Houndoom uses Sludge Bomb, which didn't deal much, but successfully poisoned me. I terrestrialized and went in for a Stone Edge, but it used Dark Pulse, and I flinched. I healed back up and tanked a Fire Blast. I went in for another Stone Edge. It hit me with Dark Pulse, but I lived and one-shot the damned mutt. House, the motherfucking G! Both Clive and I were down to our last Pokemon. My start of this run was Stig. Nimona took the fucking green cat, which meant Clive had a Quackwavel, which I knew he would terrestrialize. I felt my heart drop. I healed up. It used its signature move, Aqua Step, which dealt almost all my HP. I had no choice but to keep healing and hope that he missed an attack. It didn't. And once I ran out of decent healing items, that was it. House was no longer with us, and nor was I. I had died in this run, and my mental state was in shambles. I did not want to play this shitty game anymore, thus concluding my second run. Ah! Let's look at some new Pokemon. Relor. I like this design. Don't get me wrong, it's fugly as all hell, but it's a funny dung beetle. You can't go wrong. Rabscar. Absolutely love it. I think it's great and works really well. The design of the scarab beetle itself is awesome, and the weird psychic ball is really cool as well. Overall, just a really solid Pokemon. Flittle. What is this thing? Really, what is it? I don't like it, it looks weird. Hopefully its evolution is better. Espathra. Well, the evolution was certainly much better. Honestly, until literally right this second, while I was going through Cerebi to check out all the new mon, I had no clue that Espathra evolved from Flittle. I absolutely love Espathra. Bangin' design. Tinkertink. She's right, I don't feel a particular way about this one. Tinkertuff. Yeah, I like her. I'd stick my dick in that. I kid. Tinkerton. Yeah, I'd stick my dick in that. Solid design. I really like both the Pokemon itself and the giant fucking hammer. Wiglet. Fantastic. I think everyone likes Wiglet. Not much more to say than that. Wugtrio. I also really like it. It works really well. Bomberta. 'Tis a bird. I mean, it's fine at the end of the day though. It's just a regular looking bird. I don't know what to tell you. Finizen. It's cute, design-wise. I think it's solid. We finally got ourselves an official dolphin Pokemon. Palafin. Before I talk about their designs, I'm just gonna say that I fucking loathe this Pokemon. simply because I have to pay for a Nintendo Online account if I want it. Not happening. Palafin's Zero form is fine. It is literally just Finn's model with a heart on its chest. Its hero form, on the other hand, I really don't know how to feel about it. It looks stupid, but I'm not sure whether it's likable stupid or just stupid. This sucks. I can't believe that I have to sit through this fucking 2 to 3 hour tutorial for a third time. Well, Juanka made his way through the game, all the way back to the fight with Clive. In this run, I pretty much murdered my first encounter in every route, only worrying about the first encounters on routes I knew there were Pokemon I wanted. My new team this run consisted of Bongcat the Meowscarada, Hemorrhoid the Rabscar, Nikocado the Bellybolt, Blue Sky, referring to the meth from Breaking Bad, the Baxcalibur, Nunu the Revavroom, and Dippy Fresh the Toadscruel. Now at an adequate level to take on Clive, I went in for our rematch. First up, it was Dippy Fresh against Oranguru. Oranguru may have known Yawn, but I had Spore, so I could whittle away at its HP while he was asleep. Oranguru down. I switched Nunu out to fight the Abomasnow, and with a combination of Shift Gear and Iron Head, I one-shot killed it. I kept Nunu out against the Gyarados, and took out half of its HP with Gunk Shot. Wait, what the fuck? This Gyarados knows Earthquake! Nunu. Dead. I sent out Bongcat next. Flower Trick, and I finished the Gyarados off. I stayed in against the Poltegeist, and set up a double team, though I got hit with a Will-O-Wisp. Another double team. The Poltegeist used Shell Smash. Before the Poltegeist got too stacked, I hit it with a Night Slash and did most of its HP, but I was less than half and burned. Full restored and avoided the Shadow Ball. I tanked a final Shadow Ball and finished it off with a Night Slash. It was Blue Sky's turn to fight against the Amoonguss. I set up a Swords Dance, but was hit with Toxic. Another Swords Dance, and I tanked a boosted Hex. Swords Dance again, and tanked another Hex. Full restore, easily took a weak Hex, and one-shot the bastard with Ice Fang. Skeledirge was Clive's final Pokemon on this playthrough, but Blue Sky was set up with Swords Dances. I terrestrialized, so did Clive, but I one-shot him with a Glaive Rush. Go fuck yourself, Clive! Or should I call you Director Clavel? What a shock! Clive wasn't actually Cassiopeia. I wonder who it could be. After Director Clavel got dragged off for breaking the school rules and battling on the premises, I could go take on the real Cassiopeia. But no time for that now. Nunu just died and I needed to find him a replacement. I knew that I hadn't caught any Pokemon in the 4 sides of the Paldean Sea. So off I went. On a little rocky island in West Paldean Sea, I found a Gimmighoul chest, who was my encounter for the route. I named him Drug Money. Gimmighoul evolves in a very strange way. I needed to collect 999 Gimmighoul coins. Because I was speedrunning throughout this run, I had a grand total of 0 Gimmighoul coins. And thus began my crusade to gather all the coins. This was a fucking pain in my ass. It took me around 2 hours. But by checking the map for any ruins or towers and shit, I gathered enough and he evolved. What the fuck? He has a skateboard! I love him! Oh, and on this crusade, I came across my first shiny Pokemon. Shiny Go-Goat, whom I fittingly named the Goat. Now, let me take you guys back to the Nuzlocke rules. Here they are. But if you look real closely, you can find the shiny claws. Shiny Pokemon are cool. They override the first encounter and repeat rules. But for now, he's just gonna chill in my box. I already have 2 grass types. Before I went to fight Cassiopeia, I felt like finishing the Path of Legends questline with Arvin. Going inside the lab for the first time, we go on a Zoom call with Arvin's mum, Professor Sada. She wants us to go to Area 0, but apparently we'll need some friends to accompany us. Once we leave the lab, we have our second and final fight against Arvin. It was Drug Money's time to shine, and I had him fight against Arvin's Greedent. After having confused it, the Greedent punched itself in the face, and I killed it by making it rain. Arvin sent out Scovillian next, and having no one that could really counter it, I sent out Dippy Fresh to send it to sleep. Oh, shit. Spore doesn't work against grass types. Fuck, I'm stupid. I swapped in Nikocado, who tanked a Fire Blast. I went with a Zap Cannon, but it missed, and I was hit with another Fire Blast. I healed up, and Scovillian missed this Fire Blast. He didn't miss the next one, but I didn't miss either, and my Zap Cannon dealt half its health, and caused paralysis. I used Sucker Punch, which got it down to one more hit, and tanked an Energy Ball. My next Sucker Punch got the kill. I switched into Bonkat against Garganackle. Using Flower Trick, I two-shot it. Blue Sky was up against this Toad Scrawl. No problems there. Icicle Crash, one-shot it. I brought out Drug Money against this Cloyster and made it rain. One-shot kill. All Arvin had left was his Mabostiff. And I made a really dumb mistake. I kept Drug Money in. Drug Money was super weak against his Dark-type Terrestrialized Mabostiff, and had already gone down in defense and special defense after making it rain, after having spent 2 hours trying to evolve this fucker. He died before the end of his first battle. I sent out Blue Sky next and Terrestrialized. I hit it with a Glaive Rush, which almost took it out, but the Mabostiff had Play Rough and one-shot killed Blue Sky. Finally, Dippy Fresh took the reins. Barely survived the crunch, but I got off a Spore. 1 Giga Drain, and the Mabostiff fainted, winning me the battle. After this fight, the Path of Legends questline was completed. Because of our casualties, Drug Money and Blue Sky, I had to fill the holes in my team. I did one of which using the Goat, though this meant I had 3 grass types on the team, and set sail for the seas to capture my last. In South Paldean Sea, I came across a Finizen and named him Horndog because dolphins are horny as fuck. After leveling up Horndog to level 40, and having him still not evolve, I succumbed and looked up how to evolve it. You're fucking shitting me right now! Finizen evolved into Palafin after going into the Circle Union with another player, so I go to try and do that. For context, I bought this Nintendo Switch specifically so I could make this video, and now they wanted me to pay for a Nintendo Online subscription so I can evolve a fucking Pokemon. This cunt's fucking pay to win. Also, after having finished the game, I found out that apparently Palafin is fucking broken, so it is quite literally a pay-to-win Pokemon. Fuck you, GameFreak. I threw Horndog in the box and headed to the East Sea for a replacement. In East Paldean Sea, I caught a Kilowattrel, who I named Wang. This is because I've named my balls Thunder and Lightning. Therefore, Wang. After having a full leveled up team, I went shopping for some accessories and then faced off against Cassiopeia. What? I can't believe it! Cassiopeia was secretly actually Penny this entire time! What? Who could have saw that coming? Okay, whatever. Penny uses a team of only evolutions. Umbreon versus Bonkat was the first matchup. I set up some double teams and Hone Claws, and 3-shot it with Flower Tricks. She was going to send out Leafeon next, but Bonkat had already set up a few stat buffs, so I kept him in. It missed its first attack, so I managed to get it low with 2 Night Slashes. But it hit me with an X-Scissor, and one-shot Bonkat, dead. Wang was sent out to finish off the job. 1 Hurricane was all it needed. I sent out the Goat against Vaporeon. Leaf Blade, super effective, and almost one-shot it. Vaporeon's Aurora Beam did jack shit, so one more Leaf Blade killed it. Against Flareon, I sent out Nikocado. Its Flare Blitz did almost half my HP, but did cause recoil, and my Mudshot did a decent chunk of damage as well. I killed it with Nikokado's next Mudshot. I kept Nikocado in against Jolteon. Its Thunders didn't do much, so I whittled it down with Mudshot. He got a bit low, so I used a Super Potion to restore a little bit of HP, and finished off the Jolteon with yet another Mudshot. Her last evolution was a Sylveon. You know what? This was a missed opportunity. I personally don't think we need any more evolutions, but if you're gonna make a final boss trainer, only use them. Then it would have been way cooler if you made a new one for her final Pokemon. In any case, I sent out Dippy Fresh to take it on. I tried to get off a Spore, but it terrestrialized, doing most of my HP with a Moonblast. It didn't matter though. I lived on, and the Sylveon was asleep. It's free real estate. I terrestrialized and attacked with a boosted Hex. It did jack shit. I used Giga Drain next, and did a little more damage. But the Sylveon woke up, and killed Dippy. I sent out Hemorrhoid. Sylveon's Moonblast almost killed me, and my Bug Buzz did nothing because it was super effective and I forgot. Right now, on my team, I had two electric types, both Wang and Nikocado. So I figured keeping Hemorrhoid alive would be more valuable. I sacrificed Nikocado for a clean switch to Wang. Sylveon used Baby Doll Eyes on the first attack, but I hit it with 2 Thunders in a row and won the battle. We get a little flashback cutscene of Penny as Cassiopeia trying to disband Team Star to stop them from getting expelled, but it didn't work, which is why she needed you to perform in Operation Starfall, as they had no choice but to abide by their own regulations. Clive returns once more to confront Penny. Holy shit, what? Clive was secretly Director Clavel! Gets me every time. Director Clavel brings out all the leaders of Team Star, which we had defeated, and there's this whole heartfelt cutscene with Penny and all her friends. Well, it would have probably maybe been somewhat heartfelt if they bothered to fucking voice act. Well, whatever. For their crimes against Naranja Academy, Director Clavel punishes them to community service. They get to keep Team Star up and running, and will run them as training camps for students. So they got off scot-free. In Clavel's office, Penny comes in and admits to a much bigger crime though. All the LP she had been giving you after defeating Team Star squad leaders was illegally obtained through hacking into the league. Well, they don't really care though, so it doesn't matter. Starfall Street quest line. Done. While I was already here at the school, I checked the school locations to see if there was anything worth doing. Nurse's office. Yo! Who's this? Where students go if they're under the weather, though many of them just want to talk to Nurse Miriam. Yeah, I just want to talk to the cute nurse. Damn, she's fine. Yes, it's a deal. Woo! I became slightly closer with Nurse Miriam. Wait, how close do we have to get before I can get in her pants? You want to be a health teacher? Cringe. I mean, you go for it, girl. Yes! I became even closer with Miriam. You can do it! I inspired you. Wow, what an honor. Yes, it's working. I feel trusted by Miriam. You did it! I always believed in you. That was really fast. I formed a close bond with Miriam. Woo! Let's go, baby! Now I can take you home and play Candy Crush until your clothes fall off, right? No. Pfft. Fucking Pokemon E for everyone looking ass game. Well, I couldn't progress the romance on Miriam any further, so I got back to playing the actual game. We need to find some replacements for Bonkat, Dippy Fresh, and Nikocado. I couldn't find any cool new Pokemon in North Paldean Sea, but luckily, the waters here are connected right next to Casseroya Lake. I didn't have an available encounter at the lake, but what I could do was bait a Veluza from Casseroya Lake's waters into the North Sea. I caught him, and in honor of my fallen starter, I named him Bongwater. As soon as I did, however, another Veluza ran into me and almost killed Wang with a final gambit. My next free location was Soccerat Trail, but once again, there weren't any cool new Pokemon that I hadn't used yet. But once again, I was in luck. In the back corner of Soccerat Trail, there's a link between Glacedo Mountain. My Glacedo Mountain encounter was Blue Sky, but over in this little sliver was a Satitan. So I kept on aggroing the Satitan until it was in Soccerat. I caught and named her Moby Huge. The final replacement Pokemon I caught was beneath South 6 in Alphanada Cavern. It was a Glimmet that I named Butt Pyug, with an I instead of an L to bypass the censorship. I also leveled them up, and Butt Pyug evolved. I was on the last stretch of the game. It was finally time to face off against the Elite Four. Wait, what? Huh? Excuse me? I have to sit through a fucking interview first. Look, I let it slide because she's cute. How did I get here today? I walked. What is the name of the school I'm enrolled in? I wonder what happens if I get this wrong. Manzana Academy. Wait, she seriously failed me because I said the wrong name of my school. What is the name of the school I'm enrolled in? Sheesh, fine. Naranja Academy. What brings me to the Pokemon League? I guess I'm here just for fun. I failed the interview again. What brings me to the Pokemon League? Honestly, what else did you want to hear? I want to become a champion. Okay, there. What do I intend to do when I become a champion? I want to find treasure. Sure, let's go with that. Which of the 8 gyms gave you the most difficulty? Levincia, that fucking Iono bitch. What was the name of the gym leader? Iono. How could I ever forget what she did to me? What type did she use? Electric. Hey, are these questions really necessary to become a champion? What was the category of my starter Pokemon? It was the fucking green cat. What do I intend to do when I become a champion? I told you already, I want treasure. Juwan Kaok is gonna be the king of the pirates. Ooh, okay, final question. Do I like Pokemon? No! Your game fucking sucks. Wow, okay. Fuck. I failed again. Do I like Pokemon? Sure, whatever. Just let me play the game. Rika, the interviewer, was the first of the Elite Four. Leading the fray was Butt Pyug against her Wishcash. I set up spikes, but was dropped to 1 HP by an Earth Power, only surviving thanks to my Focus Sash. I switched into the Goat. The Goat tanked a couple hits while it bulked up, and then one-shot the Wishcash with Leaf Blade. I swapped in Bongwater against her Camerupt. 1 liquidization, easy bangers, and the same went for the Doug Trio, though it did succeed in activating a Sandstorm. I kept Bongwater in against her Donphan as well. You wouldn't have guessed it, but I hit a one-shot with liquidization. She was on to her final Pokemon, a terrestrialized Clodsire. Bongwater used liquidization. GG, easy win. Rika calls in the next Elite Four member, Poppy, from the other room. That is quite literally a child. Like that is an infant. I'm about to ruin her fucking day. I healed up my Mon and went in for the battle. Once again, I lead with Butt Pyug. I managed to set up a Stealth Rocks, but the Copperaja had knocked me down to 1 HP again. It did, however, set off Butt Pyug's ability, which set up Toxic Spikes. Though, that wouldn't do much against their Steel types. I subbed in the Goat, who killed the Copperaja with a couple Earthquakes. However, I was gotten relatively low. I sent in Bongwater against her Corviknight. I used an Ice Beam, which did deal a little bit of damage. The Corviknight used Brave Bird on the other hand. which dealt over half of Bongwater's HP. The Corviknight was hit with Butt-Pyug's Stealth Rocks though, and the recoil of its Brave Bird, which made it low enough that I could kill the bastard with one liquidization. I sent the goat back in to take on the Magnezone. Earthquake, one-shot kill. When she pulled out her Bronzong, I switched back into Bongwater for a Crunch. Crunch did most of the Bronzong's health, and even already low, Bongwater manages to tank a hit and crunch it to death on the next turn. Her final Pokemon was a Tinkaton, and I opposed it with the Goat. She terrestrialized while I went for an Earthquake. She used Gigaton Hammer, which is absolutely busted, and the Goat was killed before hitting off an Earthquake. Avenging my fallen comrade was Hemorrhoid. Hemorrhoid tanked a hit of her Stone Edge, but his Shadow Ball did jack all against the Tinkaton. He used Gigaton Hammer the next turn, and Hemorrhoid just barely survives. Another Shadow Ball. I healed up and tanked another Stone Edge, and knowing it would use Gigaton Hammer on its next turn, I healed up again just in case. I tanked a player off and sent off one last Shadow Ball, thus defeating the child. Guess who's back? Larry, my fucking G. I would have loved to hear this guy voice acted. He just has so much energy and excitement in his character. Whilst at Medali, he specializes with normal types. When he works in the Elite Four, however, he uses flying types. I healed up my team and chucked Horndog in the Goat's empty slot as cannon fodder. Butt-Pyug is always gonna lead my battles, and the same could be said for this one against Larry's Tropius. Normally, I'd start off by laying down entry hazard moves, but my Power Gem was super effective, so I went with that. One shot, killed the Tropius. I kept Butt-Pyug in against his Staraptor. I tanked a close combat, which set off my ability, though against flying types it wouldn't do anything. And I used Power Gem. Staraptor, down. Larry sent out Altaria next. Power Gem. Altaria was one shot. Next up was his Oricorio. The Oricorio started off with a Teeter Dance and confused Butt-Pyug. Butt-Pyug hurt itself in its confusion. The next turn, I was hit with Revelation Dance, which got me real low. But I hit a one-shot with Power Gem. Butt-Pyug was real low and confused, so I switched into Moby Huge against his Flamigo, unaware of its fighting type. He terrestrialized, but hit me with a close combat and one-shot Moby Huge. Rest in peace. I sent in Wang. One Thunder was all he needed, and the Flamigo was one shot dead. Larry defeated. After defeating him, they do this little bit where pretty much because Larry is super monotone and shit, he's way too quiet when he calls in the next Elite Four member, Hassel. So he has to have Rika call him in. But none of it's voice acted, so it just looks really dumb. Hassel is the last of the Elite Four, a dragon-type trainer and art teacher at Naranja Academy. Like always, Butt-Pyug was sent out first. Hassel had sent out a Noivern. I lost half of my HP to a Super Fang, but set off my ability and one-shot the Noivern with a Power Gem. I switched into Hemorrhoid against his Dragalge. I used Psychic and got it down to a bee's dick of health and easily tanked a Sludge Bomb. With another Psychic, the Dragalge was taken down. Bongwater was up against his Haxorus. I was hoping to kill with Ice Beam. The Haxorus knew Crunch, however, which was super effective and did most of my HP. But my Ice Beam had also done more than half. I used a Max Potion on Bongwater, but this time, Haxorus's Crunch one-shot killed me. Bongwater, he died. I brought in the Wang. One Hurricane finished off the job. Haxorus, dead. I kept Wang in against Hassel's Flapple and one-shot it with another Hurricane. All that was left was his Baxcalibur, which I faced off against with Hemorrhoid. We both terrestrialized, but Glaive Rush fucked me up and one-shot Hemorrhoid before I could do anything. I needed Wang to pull through. Hurricane! One shot! Let's fucking go! Big ups Wang. All that was left to do was take on the champion. But right now, my team was looking pretty scarce. We had Wang, Buttpyug, and Horndog. There's no turning back now. Shit. I guess this is it. I went to fight La Primera, or top champion Gator. It started off with Buttpyug against Espathra. I set up a Stealth Rocks, and the bird used Reflect. It then used Luminant Crash, and dealt more than half HP. I set up Spikes, I healed up, and Espathra hit me with another Luminant Crash. This time, reducing me to 1 HP. It used Quick Attack, and killed Buttpyug, though also triggering his ability. I terrestrialized Wang, and missed the Hurricane. Her Luminant Crash did around half HP. I didn't miss my next Hurricane though, and one-shot the Espathra. Wang faced off against her King Gambit next. I used Roost, King Gambit used Stone Edge. It was super effective, Wang fucking died, fuck me. My last Pokemon was fucking Horndog, the failure I brought in as cannon fodder. It's all on you, Horndog. I dived. It did jack shit. King Gambit used Kowtow Cleave. Horndog, dead. Fuck! Ah! I don't want to play this fucking game anymore. Ah! Fuck! New Pokemon looking at section, fun times, woo! Varoom. When I first saw this thing, I thought the exhaust pipe was its mouth, and all I could see was a vacuum cleaner. Now that I know better, I still only see a vacuum cleaner. Solid design, it's cool. Revavroom. He's pretty fucking cool looking. The only bad thing about him is knowing that your Revavroom will never be as cool as the Snarmobile Revavroom's Team Star has. Feels bad. Cyclizar. It's just kinda ugly, eh? It's a discount Koraidon, and I think he just looks awkward. Orthworm. Nope. Don't like it. Hey, this is a worm, right? Why does it have arms? Other than that, it's just boring. Glimmet. I think Glimmet's pretty damn cool. He looks like an anal douche, and I think that's funny. It's actually what I tried to name Buttpyug initially, but censorship. Glimora. Also really cool. Now it's a spiky butt plug. Greavard. He's a cute little ghost dog. I like him. Houndstone. I also really like this design, especially the jaw. I love the skeletal look that it has, and the shaggy hair just tops it all off. Flamigo. It's a flamingo. That's it. I mean, I don't not like flamingos. Cetoddle. It's cute. I like it. Works well for a pre-evolution. Cetitan. Fucking awesome. Brilliant design. I love its mouth and its color scheme. Good work. Veluza. He's cool. Look, I'm struggling to find things to say about the fish. They're just fish, but they're cool looking. Welcome to the 4th run. My trainer has now devolved into Cook Nudge. On this run, I still couldn't use any repeats, which meant I couldn't have a starter. This time around, my team composition ended up as Wolfstache the Flamigo, Waddles the Shiny Grumpig, Manipause the Annihilate, Chug Jug the Dondozo, Dumho the Great Tusk, and Mia Malkova the King Gambit. My only casualty was Cracker the Squawkabilly, and I also had Waddles the Second, a second shiny spoink that I found lying around in the box. I sat through that shitty interview, and my redemption arc commenced. Rika was up first. Wolfstache versus Wishcash. I hit with Air Slash and did a little bit of damage. Wishcash used Future Sight. Air Slash again. Wishcash used Muddy Water. Air Slash again, and I kill, but get hit with that Future Sight from before, getting me pretty low. Against her Camerupt, I sent out Chug Jug and one-shot it with an Aqua Tail. I stayed in against a Donphan and took it out in 2 turns, tanking multiple Earthquakes doing so. I kept Chug Jug in against Dugtrio. Dugtrio started a Sandstorm and I missed my first attack. I then survived yet another Earthquake and one-shot the Dugtrio with Aqua Tail. I switched into Dumho against their last Pokemon, the Clodsire. We both terrestrialized and I hit a close combat, which almost took it out. The Clodsire hit me with Toxic. Clodsire protected the next round, but after that I took it out with another close combat. Easy game. I was up against the child next. It started off with an elephant fight. My Dumho versus her Copperaja. I'm super tanky though, and just set up a bunch of bulk ups. Close combat, one shot, dead. I kept Dumho in against Corviknight. Close combat, one shot, dead. Poppy sent out Bronzong next. I used Earthquake, but Bronzong had Levitate, and I was hit with a Zen Headbutt. Haha! Not even a scratch! Close combat, one shot, dead. Magnezone versus Dumho. Close combat, one shot. Oh, it survived with 1 HP thanks to Sturdy. Earthquake killed it. Last Pokemon, Tinkaton. She terrestrialized. I used Earthquake. One shot, dead. I absolutely fucking smoked that child. Against Larry's Tropius, I had Waddles. My Power Gem only dealt half HP, and Tropius set up a sunny day. I got Solar Beamed the next turn, but tanked it, and killed the Tropius with another Power Gem. I stayed in against a Raptor. Power Gem. Almost killed it. Straptor used Brave Bird. It's a critical hit. Waddles had been killed, but the recoil of the attack took out the Staraptor as well. I sent out Chug Jug. Larry sent out Oricorio. Oricorio used Revelation Dance, which is super effective and does more than half of my HP. With my Ice Fang though, I did the same to her, but she did outspeed. I switched into Mia Malkova after tanking a couple Revelation Dances and punching herself in the face a couple times. Mia Malkova got off an Iron Head and finished Oricorio. I stayed in against his Altaria, but healed up on my first turn because I was low. Altaria used Flamethrower, which did a lot less than I expected, so I took this opportunity to set up Swords Dance. By the 3rd Swords Dance, I was low after tanking 3 Flamethrowers. I healed up, tanked another Flamethrower, then another Flamethrower, and one-shot the Altaria with Kowtow Cleave. Larry was sending out his Flamigo next. Now, I knew that it was super effective against Mia Malkova, but I had just set up Swords Dance. I didn't switch out because I knew I could kill it if I could just get off one hit. I wasn't so lucky. The Flamigo terrestrialized and used close combat. Mia Malkova had died. I sent out Wolfstache and terrestrialized. It was a battle against the Flamigos, but in the end, my Flamigo out-Flamigo'd his Flamigo. Larry was done for. Hassel was up next. I healed up and replaced Waddles with my shiny Spoink, Waddles the second. The first matchup was Chug Jug versus Noivern. Now, Chug Jug had the move Avalanche, which deals double damage if the user had already taken damage that round. Noivern was faster than me and used Super Fang, dealing half of my HP. So I used Avalanche and one-shot the Noivern. I stayed in to do the same against Dragalge. Dragalge used Thunderbolt, which I managed to tank relatively easily, and used Avalanche, leaving it with but a sliver of health. I was real low, so I healed up. Dragalge used Sludge Bomb and poisoned me, but it was alright. The next round I was hit with Thunderbolt, but survived and finished off the Dragalge. I stayed in against his Flapple and used Full Restore. The Flapple used Seed Bomb, which took out around a third of my health. No matter, the Flapple used Seed Bomb again, which meant I had a double-powered Avalanche. One shot, Flapple has fainted. Chug Jug kept at it against the Haxorus. Round 1, I used a Max Potion and tanked a Dragon Claw. Round 2, I tanked another Dragon Claw and used Avalanche, which took out most of its HP. Round 3, tanked another Dragon Claw and finished it off with with another avalanche. Haxorus, dead. Finally, Chug-Jug was up against his Baxcalibur. I max potioned on the first turn, whilst Baxcalibur terrestrialized and used Glaive Rush. Glaive Rush did just over half my health, but thanks to my leftovers, I was able to push it just above half. So on the next turn, I managed to survive another Glaive Rush and used Order Up. Both of us now on very low health. I healed up, but Glaive Rush did more than half this time, and leftovers couldn't stop that. I healed again. Glaive Rush did less than half my health. I could take my shot. Baxcalibur used Glaive Rush again, but I survived with 12 HP, and Chug-Jug finished off Hassel with Order Up. The Elite Four were taken care of, and what's this? Waddles the Second is evolving! Sick as. It was finally time to rematch against this gator bitch that ended my last run. First up was Wolfstache versus Espathra. The Espathra moved first and hit me with Lumina Crash. Wolfstache barely clinging onto life. I used Throat Chop and also had the Espathra real low, but I wasn't faster than it. I used my next turn to heal up, but it was meaningless. Espathra used Dazzling Gleam, and Wolfstache was one-shot killed. Fuck! Because this run, I couldn't have a starter. Wolfstache was my first Pokemon. This one hurt. I sent out the newly evolved Waddles II. Waddles II took a hit from a Dazzling Gleam, but easily survived and used Payback, finishing off the Espathra. Gator sent out King Gambit next, and I followed suit by sending out Dumb Ho. Dumb Ho is just so great, and so tusk, and so tanky. I set up a couple bulk ups, and one-shot the King Gambit with close combat. She then sent out Go Goat, but I went with Giga Impact, and it died straight away. I switched back out to Waddles II when she brought out Veluza, because I didn't want to take my chances with that type matchup. Problem was, Waddles II was severely underleveled and died to a liquidization before I could use Payback. I sent out Chug-Jug, who simply kept using Body Slam until the Veluza was dead, as the Veluza's Psycho Cut was doing jack all. When Gator sent out her Avalugg, I countered with Mana Pause. Mana Pause had to tank a critical hit Earthquake, but with 2 close combats, he killed the Avalugg. Her final Pokemon was a Glamora, and I fought with Dumb Ho. The both of us terrestrialized, but I ended up moving first, and with 1 Earthquake, I ended the battle, solidifying my position as a champion. Oh yeah! Get fucked, you bloody cunt! After I beat Gator and left the league building, we run into Nemona. No, go away, fuck off, half of my team has just been brutally murdered. I do not have time for you right now. Did I become champion? No, so go away. I said no. 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 Yes. Fine. Please don't make me fight you. What's this? Let's you and me be best rivals for life? No. 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 Fine. I don't really get a choice, do I? God damn it, Nemona! Half my team just died! Oh, thank God! Gator, you ain't half bad. So, before I have my final battle with Nemona, I needed to fill up 3 empty slots in my team. Next to the league building was an area I hadn't gotten any encounters, and caught this Tandem Mouse. Ah, what the fuck? I'm naming you Abomination. Gross. I ventured all the way to South 6 for my next encounter. This time it was a Bomberta that I named Boeing 767. And in Glacido Mountain, where I had no encounter, I found a shiny Bronzong in a Bronzong outbreak. As goes the shiny claws. Shiny Pokemon are cool, so I can use it regardless. I caught her and named her Bellamere. I trained them up, Tandem Mouse evolved into a Mousehold, and I was feeling ready to take on Nemona. But first, I just want to mention something about Abomination. What the fuck is the move Population Bomb? It sounds like something that Boeing 767 should have, but alas, it belongs to Abomination and can hit up to 10 times. I chucked a King's Rock on Abomination to see if that would do anything. At the center of Mesa Goza, I faced off against Nemona, 2 champion trainers battling it out. First was Dumb Ho against Lycanroc. I used Bulk Up whilst Lycanroc set up a Stealth Rocks, but then I one-shot it with Earthquake on the next turn. I switched into Chug Jug when she sent out Goodra. I tanked 2 hits from Dragon Pulses, but got off 2 powered up Avalanches and killed the Goodra. When she sent out Poor Mott, I returned Dumb Ho to the playing field. It hit me with a close combat, which didn't do too much, and then I one-shot killed it with an Earthquake. Nemona's next 2 Pokemon were a Dunsparce and an Orthworm. I kept Dumb Ho in for both of these, and he instantly one-shot them both with close combat. For the final against her Skeledirge, Dumb Ho stayed in. He was taking this win for himself. We both terrestrialized, but I was ground, and she was fire. I moved first, and with 1 Earthquake, I one-shot it and beat Nemona. That was surprisingly easy. Nemona, you fucking suck at this game. Champion trainer my ass. And that concludes the Victory Road questline. All we have left to do is make our way to Area 0. But before we do any of that crap, some more new Paldea Pokemon. Dondozo. 'Tis a big fish, but a cool yet goofy fish he is. I like him. Fish, fish, fish. Tatsuguri. Sushi boy! I really like how these guys look. I think they're cute as fuck. My only issue is that they don't evolve, which is super disappointing. Paldean Tauros. Whoa, Black Betty, bam blam. Yeah, Black Betty, bam blam. Yeah, this guy's pretty fucking cool. Though it is very disappointing that he doesn't have an evolution, because that just makes him a Black Tauros. At least he has these 2 forms, Blaze Breed and Aqua Breed, but they're pretty underwhelming. Would have preferred an Evo. Annihilate. Primeape evolution. Sick. I absolutely love the concept of this design. Primeape's Pokédex entry from Sun reads, "It has been known to become so angry that it dies as a result. Its face looks peaceful in death, however." Well, Annihilate is what happens when it gets to that point. It doesn't quite look very peaceful, however. Paldean Wooper. I love him. You can't go wrong with Wooper, and this guy looks like he's been coated in diarrhea. What's not to love? Clodsire. Perfect. This guy is absolutely perfect. Enough said. If you disagree, you are factually incorrect. Farigiraf. Girafarig got an evolution. Great. It's not bad. I was just hoping it would be better. I always imagined Girafarig's evolution having its black tail becoming a massive monster. I guess my expectations were too high. But this guy, I mean, he's right. Dunsparce. This is probably my least favorite Pokemon of all time. It is fucking shameful. Dunsparce has been waiting for an evolution for 23 bloody years. The fan base has been waiting for an evolution for 23 years. And after all that waiting, this is what we got. It is a Dunsparce with an extra torso section. It's lazy. I hate it. And I am so disappointed that Dunsparce now will never get the justice he deserved. King Gambit. Once again, brilliant design. I'm finding it hard to elaborate, but it looks fucking sick. Frigibax. What the fuck is this thing? It is so ugly that I don't know if I can hate it. You know what I mean? Sometimes things are just so ugly that you can't help but like them. Octobax. This guy is cool. Ice Spinosaurus. Epic. Baxcalibur. His face is weird, but he is really cool. Everything else about him makes up for the face. He's pretty chill. Gimme Ghoul. This guy looks like a B-Tech Grey Matter from Ben 10. I'm sorry, mister, but it appears that you got the whole wrong fucking franchise. Goldengo. Perfection. One of, if not my favorite Paldean Pokemon. He's a golden noodle man. And he has a fucking skateboard. After having defeated Nemona, we get teleported to our dorm room and Arvin gives us a call. He sends us the location to the Zero Gate, where we'll be headed. But first, I had a final chat with Miriam. This is the Zero Gate. Once we got here, the questline of The Way Home initiates, likely alluding to Area Zero, being Koraidon's birthplace. Our teammates are waiting for us inside, Nemona and Penny. Mummy Sada begins talking over the loudspeakers, and we head down to the Great Crater of Paldea. We do so by gliding on the back of Koraidon, but as soon as we hit the ground, he pussies out and retreats into his Pokeball for the foreseeable future. While down here, our goal is to travel further down until we come across these abandoned research facilities. There are 4 of them, and all we have to do is disable the lock mechanism. Before the first facility is a fight with the Glimora. One shot, dead. Before the second, a Screamtail. This guy's pretty cool. It used a rest sometime into the battle, so I killed it by spamming earthquakes while it slept, killing Penny's Umbreon at the same time. At the third research facility was a Great Tusk. Oh, yeah, I have one. I sent out Dumb Ho. I used Bulk Up. Arvin's Mabostiff did half of its health, and then I finished it with Close Combat. The fourth and final facility wasn't guarded by anything, but it was broken and all fucked up. After disabling each lock, we get a little message from Sada, which explains what's been going on down here. Wanna know what it amounted to? A fucking time machine. Yep, that's the plot. Professor Sada built a time machine, and that's where all these ancient Pokemon came from. Koraidon was the first Pokemon she managed to pull out, and he is an ancient Cyclizar. She ends up pulling out another Koraidon, but this one was violent and destroyed a bunch of shit. On my way down to the bottom of Area Zero, I had my first non-scripted encounter, meaning I had the chance to catch something. I went with this Fluttermane, an ancient Misdreavus, and named her Goon. I wanted to see its evolution, so I swapped her in for Bellamere. Once down at this massive lab thingo, the violent Koraidon jumps down to say hello. When we release the locks on the lab gates, a bunch of Paradox Pokemon come out for a fight. A Great Tusk, Brute Bonnet, and Fluttermane. After defeating them, more show up, so the rest of the squad stays back to fend them off, whilst you go ahead into the lab. Yo! It's the MILF! What? Yo! Robot MILF! Turns out, Professor Sada had been dead for a long while, and this robot bitch is an AI she created to continue her research. But now the AI wants to destroy the time machine. Hey, what the fuck is the Dondozo doing in here? Its fucking tail and fins are clipping out of the machine. What the fuck are you smoking, GameFreak? Wait, why are all the machines in this facility powered by big fish? Whatever. We go to destroy the time machine, but the Sada AI is forced into a crazy security mode, and then probably the best battle of the entire game starts. She opens with a Slitherwing, a Paradox Volcarona, and I with Dumb Ho. Luckily, I managed to take it out with close combats, having lost around half HP. Against her Screamtail, I switched into Abomination. I wanted to see how the King's Rock Population Bomb would work. The Screamtail used Drain Punch, which did half of my HP, and Population Bomb hit 2 times, which did jack shit. God damn it. It used Drain Punch again, which left me very low, and this time Population Bomb hit 10 times, and got it at half HP. Unfortunately, because I was slower, my King's Rock was useless. Though I was determined to have Abomination show his worth. I max potioned and tanked a Zen Headbutt. I lived another Drain Punch, and my Population Bomb hit another 10 times. I repeated my actions. Max potion, tanked a Zen Headbutt, then a Drain Punch, but this time, only hit 4 times. I used the Hyper Potion, lived a Drain Punch. I thought I could live another, but I couldn't, and Abomination died. Wow, I thought you would be a lot better. I switched into Goon, survived the play rough, and got the Screamtail to like 1 HP with a Shadow Ball. I sent out Chug Jug, and finished it with the Body Slam. I sent out Boeing 767 against her Flutter Mane. It almost one-shot me with Thunderbolt, and my foul play did nowhere near enough. I switched into Mana Pause and just barely survived the Shadow Ball before finishing it with a Rage Punch. Against her Brute Bonnet, I used Dumb Ho. Close combat, it was super effective, one-shot. Against her Sandy Shocks, Dumb Ho stayed in, but it hit me first with an Earth Power, and Dumb Ho finally died. Fuck man, I really like this Ho. I sent out Mana Pause and healed him up. The Sandy Shocks used Discharge, and I was paralyzed. I tanked an Earth Power and went for close combat. I was paralyzed and could not move. Again, tanked an Earth Power, but this time I hit and dealt half of its HP. I full restored and was paralyzed by another Discharge. Just barely surviving another Earth Power. I hit off close combat and took it out. Against Roaring Moon, I kept Mana Pause in. Round 1, I used a full restore, but the Roaring Moon used a Dragon Claw and I was one-shot. Come on out, Chug Jug! I used Avalanche and after surviving a Dragon Claw, dealt most of its HP. I healed up so that I could live another Dragon Claw, which worked. And on the next round, surviving yet another Dragon Claw, I defeated it with another Avalanche. And that was it for the battle. Rest in peace to our fallen comrades, Dumb Ho, Mana Pause, and the Abomination. After we defeat her, the rest of the squad makes their way in, and AI Sada begins to break. What the fuck is this Dondozo doing? Wow, this is a really cool cutscene. I wish I could see it, but there's a big fucking fish in the way. We have one more battle against Sada, her Koraidon versus yours. And we get to see this cool animation where Koraidon returns to his battle mode. It used Taunt, but I used Collision Course, which did next to nothing. But neither did its Flamethrower the next round, or my next Collision Course. I see this is how the battle's gonna go. Then her Koraidon pulls up with a Giga Impact and reduces me to 1 HP. Hey, why doesn't my Koraidon have that? I used the Max Potion while Koraidon had to recharge for the round. You've activated my trap card! Go Plot Armor! I terrestrialized and almost killed it with a Terra Blast. It won't be almost on the next round. Terra Blast, dead. It seems that AI Sada is directly connected to the time machine, and as long as she's around, it can't be destroyed. She decides to use it to go back to the ancient past for an adventure, allowing the time machine to deactivate. She and Arvin have this little bonding moment before she fucks off, and there's only one real thing I can say about it. I wish they were fucking bothered to voice act. There's one more quick, wholesome cutscene and then roll the credits! Yeah, baby! I am so happy that I don't have to play this fucking game anymore. While the credits are rolling, however, let's go through all the Paradox Pokemon. From the ancient Paradox Pokemon of Scarlet, we have Great Tusk. I think he's pretty cool. The only Titan Pokemon that wasn't just a big overworld Pokemon. So, why didn't they just use other Paradox Pokemon for the Titans? Whatever, he's pretty cool looking. A bit of a letdown compared to what I was expecting from the sketch, but still cool nonetheless. Screamtail. It's cute. I like it. It's just a better looking Jigglypuff. Brute Bonnet. If Amoonguss is the crewmate, then Brute Bonnet is the imposter. That's all I think about when I see this thing. But yeah, he's pretty neat. I like him. At least better than the present day Amoonguss. Flutter Mane. I really like this design. You took Misdreavus and just made it cooler. The only thing that I'm unhappy about with this one is that it doesn't evolve. I would have loved to see a Paradox Mismagius. Slitherwing. This guy is fucking awesome. I absolutely love it. I think everyone can agree that Volcarona is sick as. Slitherwing is that, but cooler. Fucking fantastic design. Sandy Shocks? Paradox Magneton. I mean, it's better than regular Magneton, but that doesn't mean I like it all that much. Roaring Moon. They took Salamence and made him less of a generic dragon. Big win! Solid redesign. From the future Paradox Pokemon of Violet, we have Iron Treads. I think this guy's really cool. I love how they took this approach. The thin robotic legs, the trunk that circles around its entire body. Fucking good ass design. Iron Bundle. It's a robot Delibird. I like it. There really isn't much more to say. It's just a robotic Delibird. Iron Hands. Is this seriously how all these guys are gonna be named? He's really cool. I like the big floating hands, and it all just comes together really nice. Iron Jugulus. Nope, they did Hydreigon dirty on this one. He looks really similar to the regular Hydreigon, just worse. Iron Moth. That's pretty sick. Robot Volcarona. That's just cool. Don't like it nowhere near as much as Slitherwing, but it's still fucking awesome. Iron Thorns. Brilliant. I mean, I would be disappointed if they didn't make a future Tyranitar. Mecha Godzilla, baby. And I guess that makes Iron Mothra. And, oh shit, that means Iron Jugulus would be King Ghidorah. Nah, but this design is fucking banging. Iron Valiant. I don't know how to feel about this one. It looks like they grabbed God of War and Gallade, mixed them together and made them all shiny and shitty and new. I don't like, there's too much going on. Wait, this ending song was made by Ed Sheeran? Oh, okay, Lamau. We wake up back in our door. Oh, the time machine fish followed me home. In Director Clavel's office, we get praised for saving the region, and he gives us Master Ball. Then Champion Gator rocks up and says she's holding a big battle competition. But before you can do it, she wants me, Cook Nudge, to rematch all the gym leaders. Nope! Get the fuck out of here with that shit. No more! Penny is spitting straight facts. That's a fucking mood. And there we have it. The main story of Pokémon Scarlet had been completed. Fuck the post-game. I did, however, decide to put myself through hell and experience the side content. Starting with classes at Naranja Academy. Fuck me, mate. They are so bad. Here's the format. You'll sit through 3 classes and answer 1 question in each. The 4th class is your midterm exam, and then you'll have another 3 regular classes, and then your final exam. All but 1 of the classes are completely fucking worthless. Biology sucks. Maths sucks. Battle studies sucks. Art sucks. Home ec sucks. Languages sucks. Let me actually talk a little bit about this one first. The first 3 lessons don't have anything to do with Pokemon. And then the last 3 before your finals teach you Pikachu's emotions. All I learnt is that Pikachu is a fucking racist and only says pigger when it's angry. The only class worth taking in this game is history. And that's because Miss Ryfort is fucking bad. No, but seriously, her history lessons go over the history of Paldea, and you can learn about the lore of the region. You can also interact with teachers outside of class and earn their trust, like I did with Nurse Miriam earlier. You wouldn't have guessed it, but the only teacher worth talking to is Miss Ryfort. 1, because she's bad. 2, she goes over all the legendary lore of the region, and once you fully earned her trust, she sends you on a mission to capture all the legendaries in her stead, and updates your map with the locations of the shrines. So that's what I did next. Time to catch the legendaries. During your playthrough of the game, you probably came across a couple of these mysterious stakes in the ground. There are 32 in total, 8 for each legendary, and once all 8 have been removed, the shrines reveal the legendary Pokemon. Don't try to find all these yourself. Check a walkthrough because there is no fucking way you'll find them all without one. The first shrine I unlocked was the Grass Wither Shrine, revealing Wo-Chien. Wo-Chien's lore tied to ancient tablets that had Paldea's ancient kings' evil deeds written on it. For this, I named it Twitlonger. Design-wise, I think it's really neat. The second shrine I went to was the Ice Rend Shrine, where I caught myself Qian Pao. Qian Pao is tied to the King's Sword. The hatred of those that died by its blade collided itself to snow and became this legendary creature. I named mine Coom, and I think his design is really funny. It's a cum leopard. Third came Ground Blight Shrine, which held Ting Lu. Ting Lu was once an ancient ritual vessel and materialized a new Pokemon from the Fear, Rocks, and Vessel. I named him Chopper. His design is alright. It's blocky and I don't know if I like that. The last of the legendary quartet is Chi Yu at Fire Scourge Shrine. Chi Yu became a Pokemon after some envious magic anal beads clad themselves to fire. So fittingly, I named him Anal Beads. I really like this guy's design. He's a little fire goldfish. And while we're at it, let's talk about the box legendaries as well. Koraidon. This is my preferred box legendary. I think his design is really neat. Only negative thing I can say is, what's the point of the wheel if he runs on his hands and feet? Miraidon. Also really cool. I'm really bad at this whole Pokemon design evaluations, aren't I? He's cool. Yeah, woo. I only had a couple things left that I wanted to do before I finished playing this game. I finally checked out and bought meal powers. They're not very useful now that I've finished the game, but I did it. I still don't understand what they do or why I should care about them. But guess what? I don't care about them. So that's that. Then I checked out the picnic system. What is the appeal of this thing? Are people really entertained by this? I can throw a ball and wash my Pokemon. Cool. What I could do, however, was make a sandwich. And make a sandwich I did. Beautiful. And with that, I have officially finished this game, and I will never, ever fucking touch this piece of shit ever again until they shamelessly release overpriced cash grab DLC. Now, let's go through and pay some respects to our fallen comrades. From Run 1, Stud Muffin the Quaxwell, Baconator the Lechonk, Chody the Diglett, Stifler the Wugtrio, Updog the Maschiff, Pediculosis the Clorf, Hooch the Scovillian, Dud Muffin the Cyclizar, and Colsparse the Dunsparce. From Run 2, Stig the Skeledirge, Whoopsock the Clodsire, House the Garganackle, Black Betty the Paldean Tauros, Sexdol the Tinkaton, Nefertiti the Espathra, Nugget the Houndstone, Wah the Tachiguri, Birdie Bat Boop the Dolive, and then the Irrelevance. From Run 3, Bongcat the Meowscarada, Nikocado the Bellybolt, Nunu the Revavroom, Hemorrhoid the Rabsca, Dippy Fresh the Toadscrawl, Blue Sky the Baxcalibur, The Goat the Shiny Go-Goat, Drug Money the Goldengo, Bongwater the Veluza, Wang the Kilowattrel, Moby Huge the Satitan, Butt Piug the Glamora, and Horndog the Finizen. From Run 4, Wolfstache the Flamigo, Waddles the Shiny Grumpig, Manipause the Annihilate, Dumho the Great Tusk, Mia Malkova the King Gambit, Waddles the Second, the other Shiny Grumpig, Abomination the Mousehold, and Cracker the Squawkabilly, leaving us with our survivors: Chugjug the Dondozo, Boeing 767 the Bomberta, Bellamere the Shiny Bronzong, Goon the Fluttermane, and the legendaries, I guess. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet is embarrassing. A rushed, lazily thrown together shithole of a gaming experience. And I didn't even talk about the performance issues. This game ran like a PowerPoint presentation and the pop-ins are horrible. And I don't care if GameFreak patches the game, because Since when has it been the standard for games to be released broken? Bro, the game just came out. Cut it some slack. They'll fix it later. No. You shouldn't go into a game and be fine with it being broken, regardless of how long it's been out. The story of this game sucks. Visually, this game sucks. The game of this game sucks. And it is a massive problem. Pokemon is the biggest grossing video game franchise of all time. And just by looking at the past few games, it's obvious to see how the franchise will continue on. Low effort and low budget for mass profit. It doesn't matter if they release half-baked, genuinely unfinished games, because regardless, people are gonna eat that shit up. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet broke records for being the fastest selling Nintendo game of all time. This game. So, whilst GameFreak has earned even more money, what they've lost and what they probably won't get back is respect. Why should we care about these games anymore when the people who are making them don't give a rat's ass? And I just want to make it clear that I don't mean the workers working their asses off to try and get this game done. I'm talking about the people up the top calling the shots. There is no excusing how downright horrendous these games are. And if you like the games, I'm happy for you. Even I thought some parts of the games were fun. But if you're gonna say that I'm nitpicking or that this game really isn't that bad, you're lying to yourself. I know that the people who are gonna be defending this game are the die-hard Pokemon fans, but being a Pokemon fan myself, we should be angry, upset. This game is fucking garbage. And that's not an opinion. It is an objectively true statement. Alright, that's it. Bye.